At the count of 2, 1, 2, I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity, and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God.
For coming and for keeping faith with us each time we invite you to come and hear from the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This press briefing comes at a sovereign moment in our nation's history. Recent events in Oyo and Borno State, especially, and indeed in other parts of the country, have again tested our collective resolve as a people. The abduction of innocent school children and their teachers is not merely an attack on families or communities. It is an attack on the future of our nation, on education, and on the lives and the values that bind us all together as Nigerians. On behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, and the entire federal government of Nigeria, I wish to assure all Nigerians that the safe return of every child and every teacher currently in captivity remains a top national priority. The President has made it clear that no child belongs in captivity and that no effort will be spared in ensuring that those responsible for these heinous crimes are brought to justice. The President has directed every lawful instrument available to the Nigerian state be deployed towards achieving this objective, including the deployment of specialized rescue teams. He has also authorized the recruitment of 1,000 forest guards, as you already know, to strengthen national presence across vulnerable communities and forests within the state. In Borno State, terrorists also attacked a school in Askira Uba local government area, with at least 42 children reportedly missing following an assault. This attack bears the familiar signature of terrorist groups that have for years sought to undermine education and destabilize communities in the Northeast. While operational details cannot be disclosed for security reasons, I can assure Nigerians that multiple security and intelligence agencies are working in close coordination. The Armed Forces of Nigeria, the Department of State Services, the Nigerian Police, the Office of the National Security Advisor, the Office of the National Counterterrorism Center, the Office of the National Intelligence Agency are all working collaboratively to ensure that these issues are resolved. Intelligence gathering, aerial surveillance, community engagement, and search and rescue operations are continuing without any interruption. What distinguishes the Tinubu's administration response is not merely the deployment of force, but the adoption of comprehensive intelligence-led approach to national security, combined with an ongoing and long overdue overhaul of the nation's security architecture. One of the pillars of this overhaul is the determined implementation of state policing. President Tinubu is determined to ensure that one of his legacies is the delivery of a restructured policing system that is dynamic, flexible, and fit for purpose, one that truly empowers and secures local communities across the length and breadth of our nation. President Tinubu assumed office amid evolving security challenges, including terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, oil theft, and other criminal activities. Rather than solely relying on military action, this administration has pursued a strategy that combines military pressure, intelligence coordination, technological enhancement, regional cooperation, and socio-economic interventions. Since May 2023, Nigeria has recorded significant successes against terrorist and criminal networks. Hundreds of terrorist and criminal elements have been neutralized, arrested, or forced to surrender. Numerous victims of kidnapping have been rescued across various parts of this country. These successes are being replicated across various theaters of operation. In the Northeast, for example, troops of Operation Hadinkai continue to record significant gains against Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists. In the past week alone, the Nigerian Army and the Air Force, acting on credible intelligence, successfully repelled multiple infiltration attempts along the Girawa, Pulka, and Ngoshe axis in Borno State. Follow-up operations led to the neutralization of 50 terrorists, including several high-value targets. According to the theater commander, approximately 1,000 terrorist elements, including dozens of their leaders, were eliminated during the first quarter of 2026 alone, as troops sustained both offensive and defensive operations across the theater. A major breakthrough was recorded in mid-May through a joint Nigeria-US supported operation that disrupted terrorist logistics networks and eliminated key ISWAP commanders. Security forces additionally rescued 92 civilians from terrorist captivity near Buratai, while enhanced security deployments ensured that Eid al-Kabir celebrations proceeded peacefully across key areas of the Northeast. In the Northwest and North Central regions, joint military operations have intensified pressure on bandit groups and kidnapping syndicates operating in Zamfara, Sokoto, Katsina, Kogi, Niger, Kwara, Kaduna, and other adjoining states. Several criminal camps have been dismantled, numerous suspects arrested, and intelligence-led operations have continued to deny criminal elements freedom of movement. In the Southeast and the South-South, security forces continue to sustain operations against violent criminal elements, networks, separatist-linked violence cult groups, oil thieves, and economic saboteurs. Enhanced maritime security operations led by the Nigerian Navy have also contributed to a reduction in oil theft, resulting in an increase of about 400,000 barrels per day of oil production since the assumption of office of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. These efforts are also yielding tangible results within the justice system. Only yesterday, the Federal High Court in Abuja convicted and sentenced 4 terrorists to death for their involvement in the horrific attack on St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo, Ondo State, in June 2022. One of the most tragic terrorist incidents in our nation's recent history. These judgments demonstrate that terrorism is being confronted not only on the battlefield, but also through the rule of law. It sends a clear message that those who commit acts of terror against Nigerians will be pursued, prosecuted, and punished in accordance with our laws. Additionally, in April 2026, Nigeria commenced one of the largest terrorism prosecutions in its history, with more than 500 suspects facing trial for alleged involvement in terrorist activities and support for militant groups. The outcomes have already been substantial. According to the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, 508 terrorism-related cases were brought before the courts during the latest phase of the trials, resulting in 386 convictions. These convictions are a significant milestone in Nigeria's counter-terrorism efforts. While no judicial outcome can erase the pain suffered by those affected, it reinforces public confidence that terrorism will not go unanswered. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu recognizes that terrorism has evolved into a transnational challenge requiring international cooperation. Consequently, Nigeria has expanded strategic security partnerships with friendly nations and international organizations. The relationship between Nigeria and the United States has grown significantly stronger under this administration, particularly in intelligence sharing, counter-terrorism cooperation, military training, border security, cyber security, and capacity building for security personnel. Beyond the United States, Nigeria continues to strengthen cooperation with countries across Africa, Europe, and the wider international community. Through regional frameworks and multinational security arrangements, our country is collaborating with neighboring states to prevent terrorist groups from exploiting our borders. Equally important is the strong collaboration between the federal government and the state governments. In the case of the Oyo abductions, President Tinubu has maintained close coordination with Governor Seyi Makinde and state security authorities. Both levels of government are sharing intelligence, coordinating rescue operations, and mobilizing resources towards securing the release of the victims. Governor Makinde himself has publicly affirmed that the federal government and the Oyo State government are working together around the clock to ensure the successful rescue of the abducted children and their teachers. This spirit of cooperation extends to Borno State, where federal security agencies continue to work with the state government and local authorities in addressing the security challenges facing communities affected by terrorism. There is a fundamental point to be made here, ladies and gentlemen, that the enduring solution to Nigeria's security challenges lies in shared and inclusive economic growth and shared prosperity. This is why President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is championing the most ambitious, forward-looking, and productive economic reforms in our nation's history. Combine an infrastructure program that is delivering thousands of kilometers of new concrete highways, crisscrossing the country alongside mass housing, gas and power supply, state-of-the-art federal medical facilities, and much more. By opening up thousands of communities through roads and rail, we are setting tens of millions of our people on the path to a new wave of prosperity. This is what the Renewed Hope agenda is all about. Boundless opportunities for hard-working Nigerians to succeed at what they do, whether as farmers, entrepreneurs, artisans, traders, academic workers, students, or white-collar workers. This critical nexus between the economy and security is one the President is keenly aware of and is determined to act upon for the benefit of all Nigerians, now and for generations to come. As I conclude, let me reiterate that the fight against insecurity cannot be won by any single institution acting alone. It requires partnership, trust, and a common purpose. Government action alone is not enough. Terrorists thrive on fear, they thrive on division, misinformation, public despair. Their objective is not only to kidnap or kill, it is also to weaken national unity and undermine confidence in our institutions. We must not allow them the space to succeed. In this regard, ladies and gentlemen, and my colleague, the media, all of us have important responsibility here. While it is essential to report accurately and hold government institutions accountable, we must be careful not to inadvertently amplify the objectives of terrorists by giving them undue prominence. Terrorist groups seek publicity, they seek fear, and they also seek psychological impact far beyond the immediate scene of their crimes. Responsible reporting, therefore, must be guided by professionalism, national interest, and all that you need to keep the nation together. We therefore urge the media, as I always do, that we must continue to exercise restraint. We must verify information before publication, and we must also avoid sensationalism. At the same time, all citizens, regardless of their political affiliation, must work closely with the government and security agencies by sharing credible information and reporting suspicious activities. Defeating terrorism requires a whole of society approach. Nigeria must remain secure and united, because only in an atmosphere of peace and stability can our democracy, economy, media, national aspirations continue to flourish. This is why the theme of today's briefing, Unite Against Terror, is so important. Whether in Oyo, Borno, Zamfara, Kaduna, Plateau, or any other part of Nigeria, an attack against one Nigerian is an attack against all Nigerians. Terrorism has no tribe. Terrorism has no religion. It also has no political affiliation. Its only purpose is destruction. As citizens, no matter where our interests lie, no matter where our political affiliations are, we must reject divisive narratives. We must support our security agencies by providing credible information, and we must remain vigilant in our communities. Ladies and gentlemen, we must continue to promote national unity and strengthen the bonds that connect us as one people under one nation. To the families whose children and loved ones remain in captivity, I convey the assurances of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Your pain is our pain. Your government, our government, has not forgotten you. Every available resource is being deployed. Every security agency that is in this fight remains engaged. Every intelligence lead is being vigorously pursued. Nigeria has faced moments that are so difficult in the past and have emerged stronger. We shall overcome this challenge as well. We shall defeat terrorism. We shall protect our schools. We shall safeguard our children. We shall continue to build a nation where every Nigerian can live, learn, work, and prosper in peace. Together, united in purpose and unwavering in resolve, we will ensure that terrorism has no future in our country. Thank you very much for listening. And this is not intended to be just a flash in the pan. We will continue to update the country as developments occur in this regard wherever they happen in this country. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your cooperation. Of course, like I announced earlier, there are members of the armed forces here. The representative of the military is here, the police, the Office of National Security Advisor.
At the count of 2, 1, 2, I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity, and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God. Thank you, and have a good afternoon.